So as you can see, he's removed quite a bit of components on his own car here. He's pretty much gutted the whole thing. I guess it's a race car now. Clapped out race car. No. The reason he's removed all this stuff is because he's opened up the space that we need for the intakes to come in through the top of the engine here. So they're gonna come around and curl around similar to the way that the original design was, but we're gonna do our own thing, and you guys will see that coming up in future episodes. The factory design actually has a grill right here that captures all the air. It goes through a tube, and the tube itself, I'll show you in a second because it's in the front office, has a long hollow tube in it, within it, that's like a sound deadener, and then the rest of the air just shoots right into the engine. I'm gonna go over here into the office real quick and show you those tubes because we've got them all organized like we normally do when it comes to pulling things off of vehicles. We don't want them just kind of sitting around. But here's the tube off of one of those sides, and you can see it's got a grill, and it captures all of that air and puts it into the engine through a coupler. And then it has this sound deadening piece, which is actually hollow, but it has a cap on the end of it, so all that air is really just kind of passing back in through here and then goes into the intake. Funny thing, when we pulled it all apart, one of his couplers was off, so it wasn't capturing all the air. And most of you are probably thinking, hey, those are capturing all the air. How are you going to do that if you pull those out? Well, we're going to design something that, of course, ensures that. We've looked at some options of maybe building some shielding out of carbon fiber, but I'm thinking more along the lines of a velocity stack. I mean, being a turbo guy, and that's pretty much what we do, right? When we want to have a huge space that's capturing air, we shove a velocity stack up inside of there, and we put a filter on the end of that thing. Probably a bypass valve along with it so that we prevent all that water from getting in the engine in case he does happen to get caught in a storm. And you know, most people would not race their car in rain, or if, you know, I know do realize that happens sometimes in real racing, but their cars are set up for that. This is a street car, which he wants to take into the track. I'm still be putting this thing balls to the wall in the rain, so we're gonna make sure we have the right equipment on board so that the engine doesn't get water locked up. But as you can see, now everything is fully stripped. We're getting things mocked up on our custom exhaust system, and once that's done, we'll go ahead and build a mount for our coolant tank here. Make sure that looks pretty. We'll give it some nice flow along with the rest of the other items that are going to be in the mix of this beautiful piece of art that we're working on. But hope you guys are enjoying the video. If you're not already following the channel, please do hit subscribe if you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the shop, including projects like this. We don't just work on Ferraris, we work on pretty much any make and model vehicle. A lot of imports like Mitsubishis, and quite frankly, quite a few German cars now, a lot of BMWs. So stay tuned for more on this particular project, and we'll keep you informed. And there you have it. We have the X pipe put together, welded up now. And we're moving on to the next section of this build. I'm here with my buddy Reese here from Colorado.
How y'all doing?
He came in town to talk about some new opportunities and products that we may be partnering up on producing in the future. But in the short term, he's hanging out with me as I finish development on this exhaust system for the Ferrari. This thing is taking a tremendous amount of time and thought, being that this is the first time I've ever done one of these. Now that I've got the X pipe welded up and I've got both of the turnouts in place, I feel like I need to figure out the right transition to come up to the X pipe for the front section, and then I'll figure out plumbing for the rear section. But for right now, that's where we're at in the project. I'm definitely feeling the pressure on this one. There's been some stuff that's gone on in the background that has put a little bit more pressure on me than normal. And as you know, I'm always up for a challenge, and this is one that I'm taking on. So in addition to this being the first supercar, my level of quality control has been increased even further beyond what the normal quality control standards are. So, and that goes without saying, that would have been the case being this being my first supercar to begin with. But based on the feedback from some individuals on what I've already done so far, even though it's only very minimal, it's put me in a corner of feeling like I need to do a better job. So I'm doing my best right now to try and focus on the job and let that not get to me, because at the end of the day, you've always got to either win or learn, and I'll consider this a learning lesson. So with that being said, this is where I'm at, and the next step is running these pipes upward in order to make the transition for the now built X.